Today I'm going to talk about dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is software which helps us to edit sites. This is a site which enables not only amateurs but as well as pros to edit sites.
Dreamweaver. Now, like a lot of different Adobe products, there's usually 3 or 4 different ways of doing the same task. So don't feel overwhelmed by the interface. There's a lot of menus up at the top, a lot of different buttons that you could get into. You're not going to need to learn everything to be a competent web designer. Different people have different workflows that they like to use, and Dreamweaver gives you the option of creating a new HTML document from here, creating a new HTML document from the pull-down menus that are up at the top. So we can approach this from some different ways. But just to get started, I'm going to click here on the Create New HTML Document, because we're going to take a look at what a first-time web designer might see. So here is our split screen Dreamweaver window. In the top we can see the code, and if you've done any HTML before, you'll recognize this up here. When we start a blank document, it puts in our basic HTML structure. This is an XHTML transitional document, which is very good for working on cascading style sheets and all the modern web design techniques with. In the bottom panel, this is what we're actually going to see on the screen, right? So all of this HTML up here is sort of behind the scenes. It's going to be invisible inside people's web browsers, and what is down here is what's going to show up in this screen. Now we can either switch to code view, where we just work in HTML and it's much like a text editor. We can switch to split screen view, where at the top we see our code and at the bottom we'd see our visual design, or straight design view, which works a lot like your word processor, something like Microsoft Word. Now, it's good when you're getting started with web design to work in the split screen view, because when you type things in at the bottom, my sample web page, here we have it over here, my sample web page, up here we can actually see where it's being typed into the code. So when I come down here and I click enter, up in my code view, it's actually wrapping paragraph tags around my sample web page, the text that I just typed in. If I come down here and I select my text, at the bottom of the screen I have my properties inspector, where I can start setting the properties for this piece of text. So right now it's a paragraph and it has paragraph tags wrapped around that. If I wanted to change the format of this from a paragraph to, say, a first level heading, it will change it in the design view, and also above in our code view we can see that it's changed from paragraph tags to H1 tags, first level heading tags. So working in this split screen view is a good way for people to learn a little bit of HTML. You don't need to have it all memorized, but as you become more familiar with the tags and what they do, you'll be able to do more with your documents. And certainly when we get into working more with cascading style sheets, it's helpful to be aware of what HTML tags are being used on the page, so that we can apply the correct cascading style sheet settings for that specific piece of text. So we can work in code view, split screen view, or regular design view.
So you see, Dreamweaver is really easy to use.